This week on Game Arena's 5-inch Floppy, we thought we'd do something a little different. Just down the road is See-Through Studios, a newly formed company that aim to make good, small games. But before they attempt their magnum opus, they're conducting a little experiment. They aim to make a full, marketable game about triangles in 3 weeks. So we followed this team with an acute lack of time to see how their game shaped up.
We want to create games and also be very open about it, and to help other people to give our processes out to the rest of the community so they can then either see what we've done well or done wrong and learn from what we've done. My plan going in, giving 96 hours, was very much kind of based on what I do for like something like Ludum Dare, and that was get to gameplay as soon as possible. It was get to gameplay in 2 days. And we did that. And past that, like, I knew that there were certain steps based on other experience that I had, but I didn't really have a specific plan on what was going to happen when.
Ludum Dare is an event similar to the Game Jam, where developers crank out games in 48 hours as a competition. It's also a great way of networking and getting noticed. But this is none of those things. See-Through Studios has put this restriction on themselves. We brought in help to fully understand the geometry of the situation.
Doing something like a game jam or a short-term project and just crunching through it, more than anything else, it's to get over just the psychological fear of starting something. Anyone who's ever wanted to do something, whether it's painting, music, martial arts, game development, there's this huge fear of, I don't know how to do it. What if I'm bad? What if I fail? What if people hate me? So jamming on something for a short period of time, it's a way of fooling self-doubt. It's a way of saying, no, actually, I can do this. Because if you can do it in 3 weeks and you finish something, a lot of those fears go away.
The game we're making is based on a Ludum Dare game I made called Flatland, which is based on Edwin A. Abbott's book called Flatland. It's a book based around the idea of what would a world that was actually 2D, how would that work? How would that world operate? How would people relate to each other? And at the same time, it was a social commentary on the class system at the time. So what we wanted to do with this game was to actually bring that world forward 100 years and kind of think about where that world would go and explore that sort of idea. What we're kind of realizing is, yeah, in 96 hours you can only do so much, but we will have a game that has, like, we're looking at 10 levels at the moment that are going to be fairly well formed. We've got your upper class, middle class, and lower class, and they've all got their different areas and what the areas would look like and how they would interact and that sort of thing. So I think what we'll end up with is a really nice introduction to this world, and all of us working on this are really excited to actually come back to it and do more work in this.
See-Through Studios had a clear idea of what they wanted gameplay to be like, and as it shapes up, we're navigating through corridors and avoiding bumps. These pieces of our triangle don't grow back. Each level is about getting to the end in one piece. You're presented with different challenges, including enemies that are faster than you and bigger than you.
So one thing that we've brought our own that we really didn't have to, but I have a strong feeling about, is playtesting software. So we've, in this 3-week period, I've put together a server that collects data, that the game communicates to, and that does some very basic analysis. I mean, at this stage, we're keeping it really simple because we want to take some time to really understand the data we're getting, because if we get too much data, we can't do anything with it. So we're just getting things like how long is a player spending on each level, player death, when. At the end of each level, we're asking people to rate it in fun and challenge from 1 to 5, and any comments that they have.
With regular posts on their blog and a move to an office space inside part of AIE where all students can see them, this is more than seeing what can be done in 3 weeks, it's showing the world what can be done in 3 weeks, warts and all.
There was one point at which we couldn't copy files from a USB stick onto a computer. That computer just wouldn't let us do that. And there were a number of other small things going wrong at the same time that meant we had to do that, and then that failed. But yeah, one of the greatest things that was how much work we got done even when these things happened.
We can come up with a project management chart, and it's really nicely blocked out for over a year, saying we're going to do the back end here, and we're going to do the art here, and we're going to have art done in 7 months. Because you can do that, it's something you can finish and see, and it's a quantifiable result. But game design, it's you're not going to know until someone puts it down and says that was awesome and I want my friends to play that.
It's been really good. I mean, today we were published on Rock Paper Shotgun, and the review was very good. Yeah, and generally everyone's really liked it. There's been a couple of comments about specific things that we know we didn't do quite as well as we wanted. So the core mechanic needed a little bit of tweaking, and we didn't quite get it to as honed as we wanted it to be. Yeah, it's just really exciting to see how far we could get, and knowing that now we can adjust our development cycles to make sure that we get the rest done.
And here it is in all its hastened glory. The name? Fallen Angle. Pythagoras would be proud. Mission accomplished then, but not just in creating the game. See-Through Studios are now better known, with their name painted on some of gaming's top space in the fast-flowing internet. And after online payment service Paymate refused to process any money donated to See-Through Studios, they unwittingly exposed a potential pitfall for developers. Some payment services, it seems, think video games are too risky, a cautionary tale for anyone wanting to charge for their work. But hey, we hear there's no money in that video game stuff anyway. Our thanks to See-Through Studios and AIE for letting us observe. 5-inch Floppy will be back next week, same time, same place.